lot of people, they want to be successful, but still think in ways of fear. So saying like, I wish not to be poor again ever in my life. For example, me, I lost my money 3 times. Do you think I'm going to say now, I don't want to be poor again? No, I want to be filthy, dirty rich. I'm going to be filthy, dirty rich. Yeah. It's a fact. The question is, when is it going to manifest it? So it's funny because everybody is conditioned, right? Everybody is conditioned. And it can be based on religion, it can be based on culture, it can be based on past traumas, but it can also be based on past family traumas. And for example, my family really thinks in ways of fear. So if you're going to think in ways of fear, it's quite unlikely that you're going to manifest anything that's beyond that fear. So you need to reprogram yourself, which is very doable because our brain is very remarkable because it has the ability which is called neuroplasticity, which means the ability to rewire and reprogram itself from a bad habit to a great habit, because our conditioning is based on a bunch of habits, and a habit is an idea that manifests itself in the subconscious mind. So what do we need to do? We need to reprogram the subconscious mind. And that starts with the way you talk, the way you walk, I would say, like be more confident. But what also happens is writing it down. What I used to do when I was like rock bottom, I would write down that I was grateful for the things that I didn't even have yet. So I would literally write down, I'm happy that I have this life now where I'm a multi-millionaire with my wife and my kids living in this kind of villa. And it started manifesting itself. Like at that point, suddenly I had a girlfriend. She came walking from somewhere I didn't even know she could come from. Like it just happened, and all these things happened, and I was making more money again. But you have to keep this confidence. It's very hard because if you're in an environment, for example, in the UK or in the Netherlands, where everybody around you has these kind of habits to be negative, it's quite likely you get influenced by it yourself as well. So you need to train yourself. So what I do, I pray 2 times a day for gratitude. So the morning I wake up, I speak out loud that I thank God or the universe for giving me the things that I not literally have, but acting less as if I already have them. And I do this when I wake up, and I do this when I go to bed.
Before you said that, I was waiting for you to finish speaking to say that's what I do. That's how I manifest. I express my gratitude every single morning with prayer. Every single morning. And I speak it out loud. I'll finish my prayer and then I'll express my gratitude. Even if it's something simple. To be in Bali, to spend this time with my fiance now, to be going to a podcast later, to meet someone that I want to meet, to then have a great day. I'm grateful before the day's even started. And even if it's like future planning, you know, I'll even say to God, I know you wouldn't have given me this vision if I wasn't meant to achieve it. This is something that I reaffirm myself when I'm in that ice bath, when I'm in the sauna, every single day when I'm praying. After I express my gratitude, again, just dropping in those things that I'm working towards. So every day, I know a lot of people talk about, you said it yourself, writing down their goals and journaling. I do that with prayer. I do it out loud, you know, and you do the same. Crazy the synergy in our routines, I would say, but it's, you know,
it's not coincidence.
No, it's not.
Also law of attraction.
It
seems that we had to like meet each other here and come and sit here and talk about it. That's also how it works. The law of attraction. Conor McGregor says it's real. Dana White says it's real, and a lot of other people say it's real. But only real when you really believe in it. So what I would like, because I also know there are a lot of young men like listening to this podcast are like, why doesn't it work for me? I'm telling myself every day I'm going to be a millionaire. No, it doesn't work like this. So if you start from the beginning and you want to manifest, first of all you're gonna ask for it, because God will give you anything you want. So for example, you're feeling uncomfortable. You're like, I'm single for such a long time. You know, I wish I would have a nice girlfriend. The next day, you're sitting in a restaurant or in the gym, and boom, there's a beautiful girl looking at you, smiling at you. But you're gonna come up with all these and I know a lot of men do this. They come up with all these kind of excuses, like, but maybe she already has a boyfriend. But maybe she doesn't really like me. Or maybe she is a psycho. And they are building up the excuses, and in the end, they didn't talk to this girl. That was a chance given to you by God, but you didn't grasp it because you were a bitch. You were a pussy, not able to show yourself accountability and show your balls and go approach this girl. Because I will tell you, 9 out of 10 times, if you make a good move, you know what to talk about. In the end, you will get away with something, maybe Instagram or a number. And in the end, maybe they don't want to talk with you, or maybe they will just tell you from the beginning they already have a boyfriend. But you still feel like you're a winner because you showed yourself that you had the balls. You showed yourself accountability to do so. Now, this is a very common example that I wanted to mention because I know a lot of guys have this kind of issue. They like, and then after that they're like, yeah, what was? Maybe she tagged herself on the page of the gym. Let's see if I can find that through the followers of the gym. No, it's not going to work like this.
Yeah, it's so true. And it comes back to what we're saying about seeking discomfort.
Yeah.
They don't want to do it because it could be potentially uncomfortable.
Yeah. Imagine she rejects you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you cannot sleep then.
Move on with your day. It's been many years since I've approached a woman, so I'm out the game too long, but I can remember what it would feel like. And what? Do you know what I mean? You just need to take that risk, otherwise you're never going to get what you're working towards.
And it's the same with business.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to say though, it is the same with business. So why do you think there's many high-level businessmen who are maybe very successful in their job but have no success with women?
It's because what I heard is because they're very, very perfectionist, and they want to have this perfect woman that suits all their needs, but that doesn't exist. You know, and at some point you're gonna be so perfectionist that you're going to disqualify any woman you see. So you would say like, okay, yeah, but she doesn't have this kind of quality, or she doesn't have that kind of quality. But in the end, you will never find out because you will still build up these excuses to never approach these women. So it's all about excuses, and no accountability.
Yeah.
And it's also a different kind of thing. Like, I mean, starting a business from home, locking yourself in is still way more comfortable than going out and talking to a woman you don't know anything about, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. But at least but you'd think the discipline and the mindset required to build something from scratch would also translate into being able to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable, such as approaching a woman. But it doesn't seem to directly correlate in that instance. I guess the difference is you can build a business without having social skills or social awareness, I guess.
Well, I will tell you one difference in that kind of subject regarding business. The people who have the highest educations are quite likely the ones that never start a business, because they were trained in a way to make everything so complex that they never start in the first place. If you see all these Gen Z kind of dropshippers, they are all dropouts. They don't care. They don't care about a bachelor degree or a master degree, because they don't think that much. They just do it. They grasp the chances they get.
Yeah.
Whereas a guy who has studied all his life is basically ready to enter the matrix, maybe have a nice salary of 5-6K a month, but sticks with that and works in a way that he is taught to work, you will never think outside of the box. And the longer you study, the harder this condition, these habits get.
Do you know what's funny is this is what I was saying to you, where I was in that for 9 years, because I left school at 16, got an apprenticeship, became a plumber, qualified at 20 years old, where I could probably earn half decent money in London as a plumber. You get good salary, maybe £200 per day, not bad for 20 years old. But instead of doing that, after I completed the apprenticeship, I was like, okay, what's next? Like, I've done this, but I always like to be working towards something. I was like, I don't want to just do this now. Like, where do I go now? You know, I need to work towards something. And then someone said to me, you know, with construction, you can only work as long as you're worth. Maybe you should try and get into engineering. So I applied, got a job in engineering. They put me through university. I was working full time. I did all of this, completed that, and then COVID hit, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this either. Got into dropshipping.
So also during COVID?
During COVID.